Well, here we are. It's been quite the journey getting here, for me at least, but here we are. Alright, so let's not waste time and jump into the first full theory here, huh? Burntrap seems to be another incarnation of Springtrap. But how? We see Scraptrap burning Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, right? And then you've seen his own personal hell, right? Wrong. Ultimate Custom Night is a nightmare, spoke by Andrew or Cassidy depending on which theory you believe. Please note the lines by a few of the animatronics.
This is a nightmare that you won't wake from. The nightmare is just beginning.
This connects directly back to the Fazbear Fright story, The Man in Room 1280, in which a burnt man that was like molten plastic, burnt flesh, and smoldering metal, with something keeping him alive when he should be dead, implodes in the agony of toys and animatronics to be corrupted by Andrew and William. Now, whether you believe those stories in the game's continuity or a version of it happened in the game's continuity, these two are the only possibilities. Now, back to Burntrap. Unlike Scraptrap, Burntrap has two arms and is not only bones. Weird, right? Well, let's look over it. Tell us from the Pizzaplex and see if there's an explanation over there. In the first epilogue, we are introduced to our main antagonist, an orange-eyed rabbit endoskeleton with sharp claws and two slightly bent rabbit ears. Looks like we have a match. In epilogue 4, it is stated that this thing is a mimic, model 1 or 2. So wait, this is a mimic and not Burntrap? Not exactly. Let's look over at the character encyclopedia for a second and head over to Burntrap's page. It says that Burntrap isn't its canon name. That leaves one name available, the mimic. Okay, that mimic doesn't have flesh or a suit. Well, look what it's doing. Killing. It could easily get fleshed that way. Oh, and later on in the epilogue, its eyes turn black, similar to Burntrap. Now, for the suit. In the third Tales from the Pizzaplex book, Somniphobia, there was a story titled Pressure. In the story, the main character named Luca is spring-locked in an old spring bodysuit, redesigned to look like Springtrap. Now, this might be a stretch, but the pizzeria therein is described nearly exactly like the one from the epilogues. Now, I don't think it is the same, but if it is, then why wouldn't Mimic use Luca's suit? Another possibility is it used the suit of a Springtrap being shipped out through the Fazbear Funtime service, or it's using the brains of Scraptrap suits found in the labyrinth, which is unlikely, or maybe there's a spare spring bodysuit in the wardrobe room. Or maybe it'll be solved in Ruin or a future Tales book. No one really knows for sure. The Blob, encountering the buried Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place in Security Breach, is widely shrouded in mystery since we first encountered it. Donning a Funtime Freddy mask, similar to that of Molten Freddy, with multiple animatronic parts which belong to Circus Baby, the Puppet, Mangle, Bonnie, and Chica, it's just a giant amalgamation of robotic parts. But what is it exactly? Well, it seems to be against Afton and highly aggressive. To help us find out what it is, how about we look at something that should at least be somewhat helpful for this? The character encyclopedia. Now, though not being very helpful for this specific theory, it does give us some insight. For example, the Blob isn't this thing's canon name. Okay, interesting, but what about its origins? Well, it states that its origin might be an innard, similar to Molten Freddy. Not sure I believe this, but oh well, it's what we got. Now with the basics out of the way, let's get theorizing, shall we? One of my favorite theories about this guy is titled Blob AR. Blob AR is a theory that Blob got his parts from the animatronics being shipped out through the Funtime delivery service, which would make sense with how intact the Blob's parts are. Another theory comes from the Tales from the Pizzaplex book series, in the third epilogue specifically. While our main characters are running around the pizza place, they stumble into a wardrobe room filled with racks of old costumes. In the room, there seems to be a Bonnie costume, which could have been made a part of the Blob later on. Another explanation could be from the broken glass cases in Rockstar Row, housing animatronic parts. The Blob could have broken the glass and taken the animatronic parts it needed to add to its mass. Now that we've established multiple possibilities of where Blob's parts are, let's try to find out what is powering the Blob. The most likely answer is agony, which is the strongest human emotion in the FNaF universe and is introduced in the third Stitch Race Singer epilogue. Another possibility, but the character encyclopedia says is true, will be remnant in the souls of the original MCI victims that inhabited the Fun Times. However, another really possible way comes to us from the Tales from the Pizzaplex epilogues. If Mimic truly is Burntrap, which is highly likely, then it would make sense the pile of animatronic and human parts it's making is the Blob. And if that's the case, Blob will be running on the agony and maybe souls of the construction team and anyone unfortunate enough to get added to the pile. As a bonus, I thought I'd throw in my theory as to what the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place building is. Other than the FNaF 6 location, I personally think it's a refurbished Fredbear's, which would also have Circus Baby and intermittent rentals buried under it. It would make sense that this would be the place Henry would decide to end everything, where it all started. Plus, if it really is Fredbear's, Circus Baby's underneath it, Blob could have gotten the Funtime shells from down there. That's all I've got. Remember, tomorrow is another day, and it will be forever and ever and ever. End communication.